Welcome back to the series where I'm breaking down the name, meanings, and origins of every Animal Crossing villager. Now this is part 3 of this series, so if you're just tuning in and you want to see all the villagers whose names start with A through J, go back. This video is going to cover villagers K through P, and coming out soon will be the end of alphabet villagers. But let's get started with who we have first with the letter K. Kabuki is named after the Japanese theater style. Kabuki theater is known for elaborate costumes, which is also reflected by the white and red face paint on Kabuki the cat. Cat is a cat. Keaton comes from the Old English word for a place for hawks, and Keaton is an eagle, which is a bird of prey similar to a hawk. Ken is a chicken. In addition, Ken could also be styled to match another Ken from Street Fighter, as they both relate to martial arts. Ketchup is styled like a tomato, and ketchup is made out of tomatoes. Kevin is named after actor Kevin Bacon, as bacon is a product that comes from pigs like Kevin. Kit Kat is one of the superhero villagers, and he is a cat. A young cat, it seems. A kid is a name for a young goat, so Kid is a young goat. Kiki's Delivery Service is a film from Studio Ghibli. In this movie, Kiki, a young witch, has a pet cat familiar. Although the cat in the movie is named Gigi, this cat is given the name of the witch herself, Kiki. A kit is a term that refers to the young animals in species like foxes, raccoons, and others. Although Kit is a kangaroo, and kangaroo babies are not known as kits, her name plays off of her carrying around her baby. Kitty is a kitty cat. Klaus is a bear who has sharp claws. Klaus and Claus are supposed to sound similar to one another. Knox is a knight, whose main goal is to defend and protect. Much like many military forts, like Fort Knox, which is in the state of Kentucky. Cody is named after a bear species, the Kodiak bear. Kyle sounds similar to the Armenian word for wolf, Guile. Leonardo is styled as a leopard. The first 3 letters are the same in both words. Leopold, however, is not a leopard. He is a lion, but the scientific name for lions is Panthera leo. Frogs jump on and sit on lily pads, and Lily is a frog. Limburger is a type of cheese, and mice love cheese. We know that by now. We're in part 3. We've established that mice love cheese. Lionel is a lion. The word lion is in Lionel. Lobo is the Spanish and Portuguese word for wolf. In many languages, Lolly's name and catchphrase relate to sweet treats or desserts. In English, her name comes from the lollipop. Lopez is an antelope, Anta Lopez. Although Louis is a gorilla, his name may come from King Louis in the Jungle Book, who is an orangutan. However, it is also possible that his name comes from Luigi, as Louis is closely associated with wearing the big bro and little bro outfits in previous Animal Crossing games. I think the real answer, though, is a combination of both, like they went with King Louis first and then tied in Luigi with this villager. Lucha is styled after a Mexican wrestler, a luchador. Lucky's a pretty common name for dogs, but in addition, this name is supposed to be ironic that someone named Lucky seems to have such bad luck being all bandaged up. Lucy's name is an English pronunciation of her Japanese name, Rushi. Lyman means someone who lives in a meadow, and since Lyman is grassy green, he looks like he lies in a meadow. Lyman is also lime green. Mac's name comes from the Mack Truck Bulldog mascot. Mac is styled to most closely resemble the Bulldog breed. Maddie's name is an English version of her Japanese name, Marin. Not super similar, but they do both start with the letter M. Mael is the female version of the Breton language word Mael, meaning prince. So Mael is a princess. Fitting, since she is a snooty type villager. Very princess-like. Like many others in this series, Maggie's name is the English version of her Japanese name. In Japan, her name is Margaretto. A mallard is a duck, and Mallory is a mallard. A duck. Mabel's name comes from the maple tree. She is maple brown, she wears the tree sweater in New Horizons. Bears are closely associated with trees. Marcel has a unique look to him. That is because he's meant to resemble a mime, a silent performer that's most closely tied to France. A famous mime was Marcel Marceau, where our Marcel gets his name. Marcy is a kangaroo. Kangaroos are a type of marsupial. Marcy the marsupial. Margie's name is one of those with tricky origin. I believe her English name is due to a similar sound to her Japanese name. Sorry, Margie. They end in similar ways. Marina is an octopus, a marine animal. Marlowe is styled to look like an old-timey mob boss, much like the one Marlon Brando played in The Godfather. Marshall is a creamy white color, like a marshmallow. Once again, we have a name that is the English version of a Japanese name. Marty is Mati. Mathilda's name comes from the Australian song Waltzin' Matilda, and of course, kangaroos like Mathilda are from Australia. I want to apologize in advance for this next one. We have Megan the bear. I wrote all 4 parts of the series before I hit record, and Megan was the name that I struggled the most to come up with. Megan in all the other languages have a reference to candy of some sort. In Japan, her name is a transliteration of the word candy. In China, her name is Candy, but English, Megan just does not make sense. My best guess for this one, and I would love to hear the criticism or response in the comment section down below, is that you can buy bags of candy in mega sizes. Mega, Megan. It could also be that Megan the bear is quite large, so she's mega size. I just think there's something with the word mega in her name, and I don't quite know the connection. Easier though, we have Melba. Melba's a koala, and of course koalas are from Australia, so her name is a connection to the city Melbourne. Meringue is a dessert made of egg whites and sugar. Meringue the rhino has a dessert look to her, like whipped meringue. Merry is a term that means happy. Peppy villagers like Mary are quite merry. Midges are small flies, insects. Birds, like midge, eat bugs sometimes. Mint is a mint green color. Mirror has a very electric and vibrant look, which makes sense since her name comes from the red giant star in the Cetus constellation. Miranda has the same exact name in English and Japanese. No clear connection to her name, but like other villagers, Miranda is a mallard, a type of duck, and Miranda and Mallard both start with an M. Mitzi, my favorite Animal Crossing villager, and my profile picture, the channel mascot here on Crisscrossing. Her name comes from a very common name for cats in Hebrew. Mo's name comes from the onomatopoeia sound that cats make, meow. Another name that comes from the word mallard, here we have Molly. Monique has an old Hollywood look to her, so her name matches that. Monique is meant to be a classy name of yesteryear. Monty is a monkey. Those 2 words are similar in structure and letters. Moose is a mouse. There's only 1 letter difference between those 2 words. Also, his name may connect to the mousse product he puts in his wonderful hair. Mott's name comes from the British rock band Mott the Hoople. This band was also once known as the British Lions, so Mott is a British lion. Muffy's name comes from the design of her horns looking like earmuffs. Earmuffs can also be made out of wool, which come from sheep like Muffy. Murphy is the most common surname in Ireland. With Murphy's green color and laddie being his catchphrase, it seems that Murphy is meant to be Gaelic inspired. A female goat is known as a nanny, and Nan is a female goat. Monkeys like Nana love eating bananas. The fashionable Naomi is named after Naomi Campbell, the model. Nate's name comes from the word hibernate. Bears hibernate in the winter. Nibble's name describes the way squirrels take little bites or nibbles out of their food. Norma is named after Norma Lyon, a farmer who sculpted cows out of butter. Octavian is an octopus. The first 3 letters are the same in both words. O'Hare is a rabbit, and rabbits are known as hares. Olaf has quite a large nose, and olfaction is the term for sense of smell, where Olaf gets his name. Olive's name comes from the black olive, which she sort of looks like. Olivia is another olive girly. Red-purple color of her ears, paws, and tail match the Kalamata olive. An opal is a beautiful gemstone, one that the snooty and fashionable Opal the elephant would wear. Aussie is a koala, and koalas are, say it with me, from Australia. Australians are known as Aussies. Pancetta is a cured pork dish. Panchetti, the pig, is named after that. Although she is not a pangolin, Pango's name comes from that animal. Paolo's name is an English version of his Japanese name Paroro, which is supposed to be an onomatopoeia for the sound of an elephant trumpeting. Poppy is an okapi. They rhyme. A pashmina is a scarf made of cashmere, which comes from goats like pashmina. Pate is a savory spread made out of duck fat. Patty's name comes from the hamburger patty. Burger patties are made from cows. Paula is styled after 1970s hippie aesthetic. The name Paula was very popular in the 1970s. Peaches is pink in color, like the color of a peach fruit. Squirrels love nuts. A peanut is technically a legume, but it has nut in the name, so we'll allow it. Now a pecan is actually a nut for sure, and Pecan the squirrel loves nuts. Birds can peck at trees or food with their beaks, and I'm sure Peck has pecked at some things in his life. Pee-wee is a big gorilla, so it's ironic that he has the name Pee-wee, which usually means something that is small. In the United Kingdom, there's a brand of sweets named Percy Pig and Pals, but in Australia, the brand is renamed to Peggy Pig, so Peggy could get her names from those candies. Pico is a term used when grading tea leaves on quality. The highest grade a tea leaf can get is orange Pico. Penelope's name is a reference to the wife of Odysseus in Homer's The Odyssey. Her favorite quote is 1 mile or 1,000 makes no difference to love, and in the Odyssey, Penelope is miles and miles away from her love Odysseus. Petri is a science mouse, and scientists use petri dishes for experiments or studies. Phil is a type of bird known as a pheasant. Phil and pheasant start with the same 2 letters. Phoebe is a phoenix, a bird born from fire. Phoebe and phoenix start with the same 4 letters. Have you ever seen the TV show MASH? In that show, there's a character nicknamed Hawkeye. Hawkeye's real name was Benjamin Pierce. Pierce, from Animal Crossing here, is a bird of prey like a hawk. Pietro's name comes from the late 17th century. Pierrot is the sad clown, and by looking at Pietro, you can see he's a clown, and he has that little teardrop marking. He is the sad clown. Pinky's name comes from the pink coloring on her fur. Piper's name comes from a sandpiper, a type of bird. Pippi is a peppy type villager. Pluck means to pull something out, like plucking a feather off a chicken, and Plucky is a chicken. Pom-Pom is a peppy type villager. Cheerleaders are a group of people known to have a lot of pep and spirit, and cheerleaders carry around pom-poms. Poncho's name comes from the article of clothing that is worn in South and Central American cultures. Poncho is styled to look like a spectacled bear, a bear that lives in South America. Poppy's name comes from 2 origins. She is red like a poppy flower, and squirrels eat poppy seeds. Portia is a rich and snooty name, and Portia is a snooty type. Prince's name comes from the Frog Prince story. Puck dresses like a hockey player, and in hockey, the puck is the black disc that slides across the ice. Frogs love the rain. When it rains, puddles form on the ground, and that is where Puddle's name comes from. Pudge's name comes from the pudgy layers of fat that bears have when they have to hibernate. The word punchy has several definitions. One definition means tired or dazed, so Punchy the lazy villager is often tired. Pearl is a cat. Cats go purl. I'm sorry, I can't roll my R's. But on that embarrassing note, that brings us to the end of our 3rd installment in this series. Let me know any thoughts or comments you have on any of these villager names, which villager name has your favorite origin, and I hope you subscribe and stick around for part 4, the final part of this series, which will cover Q through Z. Thank you guys!